I created an advert in InVideo for today's show. What I'm going to do now is talk about how I created that advert and the different techniques used in InVideo. So sit back, grab your coffee and enjoy.
The Inspired by InVideo show.
50 episodes, that's incredible.
Special guest Sabila Shand and Sanke Shah.
It's Thursday at 4 in the afternoon in the UK, 11 in the morning Eastern Time, and 8 in the morning Pacific Time.
Join us, watch, learn, and have fun.
I started this project, the Inspired by InVideo advert, by creating a mind map where I put all my different ideas about what I wanted to have in the advert itself. So I've got my opening scene, the Inspired by InVideo show. I wanted an intro sound effect, I needed to put the date on, and I wanted to incorporate the InVideo fish. For my second scene, I wanted to celebrate the fact it was our 50th episode. So we've got a voiceover that says 50 episodes, that's incredible. And then we talk about our special guests, Abhilash Handy and Sankit Shah. The next thing was I need to get over the different times that occur around the world when the programme starts. So I have show times. And so it's Thursday afternoon at 4 in the UK, and then I'm going to show London as the location in the UK with a map pin and the word London and a picture of London. And then I'm going to do the same 11 in the morning Eastern Time, and this time I'm going to have a New York map pin and picture, and 8 in the morning Pacific Time, and again Los Angeles and a map pin and a picture. So that's my third scene, and my fourth and final scene tells people that they should join us, watch, learn and have fun. It's then going to have a picture of Stephen with his name, me with my picture of me too with my name, and then my little favourite message, because I am an old fart: be there or be square. Be there or be square. Outro sound effect. And that's my mind map that I then used to move forward with the project. Having completed my mind map, I decided from there what I wanted to have as voiceovers. So from the mind map I extracted the Inspired by InVideo show, 50 episodes, that's incredible, special guests Abhilash Handy and Sankit Shah. It's Thursday at 4 in the afternoon in the UK, 11 in the morning Eastern Time and 8 in the morning Pacific Time. And finally, join us, watch, learn and have fun. So I took those and I used a package called Synthesis to create my different voiceovers. And you'll see as we move through here that I tried different voices before he ended up with what I want, who I want, saying what I want. I tried to give it a bit of an international flavour, so there's people from the UK, Americans, Italians and that other nations speaking. So I simply pasted my text into here, and then I hit the create button. And so if we listen here, this is our first
The
sentence.
Inspired by InVideo show.
I used Alicia for that, and then I used Dan R for the 50 episodes, that's incredible.
50 episodes, that's incredible.
And after that I tried to sprinkle a little bit of foreign interference. No, interference is not the right word. Foreign elegance into it. So I used Rosalia to talk about our special guests.
Special guest Sabila Shand and Sanke Shah.
Not sure the pronunciation's that good, but you can at least see I'm trying to spread it around a bit. And then I needed a little laid back feel for my talk about times. And there's this great guy here called John M, deep, mellow and resonant. And as you'll discover, he really is deep.
It's
mellow.
Thursday at 4 in the afternoon in the UK, 11 in the morning Eastern Time, and 8 in the morning Pacific Time.
And then for my final sentence, I used Renee. And this is
Join
Renee.
us, watch, learn, and have fun.
So those are all my voiceovers. So I've got together my voiceovers. So I'm starting to build all the components prior to building my actual video. Next, I needed to choose my two sound effects style, one as the intro and one as the outro. Now, I wanted to create impact on the way in, and I've got a very nice cinematic sound pack from 604 Studio that I bought a couple of months back on recommendation from somebody who posted it in our FB group, our Facebook group. And I've got another pack from a company called Film Crux called Singularity, and part of that is tension, and I quite like the idea of having something that created tension and the exit. So I've looked up and down here, and as you can see there's quite a lot of them. And again, inside the cinematic sound pack there's action, cinematic and horror. And eventually I settled on epic drums. But I really didn't want 21 seconds. And I decided I would use that, but I would trim it in video to just give me a few bangs on the drums. So get rid of the wee at the front and get rid of lots and lots of the others. And in a minute you'll see that it was cut considerably. So that's chosen my intro sound effect. Now I need my outro sound effect. And as I said, I was quite interested in creating tension. And there's heartbeats, waiting, stakeouts, murmurs, war parties, ticks, a whole version of different ways of ticking from a clock, exhaling and inhaling, breath intakes. But in fact, I settled on murmur light. And all I did on that one is just take the first the first three tension movements, and again I trim that inside in video. So having got all my voiceovers done and decided on my two tunes to go at the beginning and the end, I got them all into a single folder. And then what I did is I actually at long last fired up in video, and I then placed all of those different things into a single scene. Now the reason I placed them into a single scene, even though I'm going to end up with 4 different scenes, is that this would allow me to listen to them and make sure I got everything where I went. So I started with my epic drums, I did my inspired by in video bit, 50 special guests, show times, and join us, and then my exit tension music. And I put them, as I say, in a single scene so that I could listen to them. Now sadly there's a few problems on the music thing at the side of things at the moment, and I know the engineers have been working on it, and unfortunately if you press the play scene you will not hear all of the items you've placed on there if you've got more than one item. So I've done this to build it up, and what I've been doing is to check I've got it in the right place, is putting them up, building them up, exporting, listen to it, haven't got the alignment right, fiddle around till eventually I ended up with this arrangement here. And I've got that exported so that I could check it in full. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to open a new copy of InVideo, and I'm going to show you how I trimmed the epic drums and the murmur and how I added the voiceovers. Okay, here I am with a blank screen, and what I'm going to do is show you how I added my initial intro music effect. So the first thing I'm going to do is delete the existing one. So I highlight it and press delete, and then I'm going to go to music. I'm going to go to my collection, and using the upload I'd added the epic drums. We'll play it quickly so as you can hear it. Now I do not want that great big woo, I just want the banging of the drums, so I'm going to add that. Now lesson here. You see this wonderful thing here that you move up and down? When you add a voiceover or music, that decides where it's going to get placed. So we want this at the front, so I'm just going to slide it to the front. But the thing to remember is this magic line here determines where your music or your voiceover is going to get added. So here we've got our drums noise, and what we're going to do is we're going to go into trim. Now I don't really want all that whoosh and stuff, so I'm going to trim this here, and I'm going to select 554 will do as a start, and I really don't want all of those different bangs there, so I'm going to drag this end and I'm going to come down to 852 will do. So now I can play that and hear what I'm going to get. And I'm pretty happy with that, but you could have took a segment anywhere you liked. So I'm going to say done, and that's going to be there. And if I hit the play scene, so I'm going to drag this out of it, and now I'm going to add a voiceover so you can see the voiceover. So I'm going to click add VO, and I'm going to upload it from my folder that you saw before. So we're going to go here, sound effects, and the first one is inspired by InVideo. So we can simply click open and move that along, because exactly as I said before, that determines where it comes, but it says it's first on the track. So we got the next one to go here. Yeah, tiny little gap. So I can add another voiceover, and again I'm going to do that from my upload file. And the second one was 50 episodes, is incredible. So I'm just going to do those little bits just to show you how it works, okay? And I'm pretty confident that if I play it, I'm afraid we won't get to hear all of it.
The Inspired by InVideo show.
And oh look, the last one hasn't come out. Anyway, doesn't matter. As I've explained to you, what you can do is export it and check it using the exported rendered video. Okay, and close the uploads. So the last thing I wanted to do was show you adding the, oh, where have I hidden it? The murmur light. So I'll show you the murmur light. This is the tension creator, and I'm using that on my outro. and all I'm doing is using those first 3 tension booms. So I'm going to move my cursor to where I want it to be. Well, it's not a cursor, I guess it's some sort of scroll bar, isn't it? And I'm going to add it there, and I want the first 3. So when I check my export, I'm going to make sure I've got enough scene length for it to play properly when the scene is exported. And again, like before, I can hit edit, trim, and in this particular instance I want to trim it to from the start and play just 3 of them. So I can take it to there. If I play it now, so I can now trim it there, and hey presto. Now obviously there should have been more of the voiceovers in between, but you can at least see what it took to construct it. And in a moment we'll go back and take it to the next level. Okay, so my next task is to create the 4 scenes, and you can see here that I've got 4 scenes. So what I've done is create a scene, add a scene, add a scene, and add a scene, and the first scene covers over Epic Drums and Inspired by InVideo. The second scene, 50 episodes and special guests. The third goes over Showtime, and the 4th scene, Join Us and our tension sound, which is the Murmur Lightwave. The last thing to do, having created them all, is to get rid of the logo, and do that simply by deleting it. And then we also want to change the background. So I've unlocked it, clicked on it, clicked on edit, and I'm going to change the background color to white. Okay, so I would do that through the entire run. One more important thing is, when you add a scene, you end up with a default scene, a default transition here. Yeah, you set your default transition. Let's put impact on there. You'll see it steals from your timing. So what you need to do is make sure that you remove all the transitions so that they finish and start at the correct place. And that's it for adding the scenes. Now I'm going to talk you through the 4 scenes and the actions that we've got on there. So here we have the fish, and in the scene the fish swims on from the left, stays static and swims out to the right. The Inspired by InVideo show title, that vibrates to match the beating drums, and the 15th of October just slides on and off. And we'll show you how this animation is achieved. So and we have drama from down, and that causes it to vibrate. The scene is 5 seconds long, and it comes in and comes in for 2 seconds, stays static for 1 second, and then flows out for 2 seconds. So if we look at the out, and the out slide down to big. So when we play the scene there, and so the Epic Drums lasts for 2.5 seconds, and the Inspired by just over 2.5 seconds, and the Inspired by InVideo voiceover fills the rest of the 5 seconds. Now I'm going to play the scene, but as I said to you earlier, you don't always hear all of the sounds. So there you saw the fish swim in, fish swim out, the Inspired by InVideo vibrate, then fall off, and then 15th of October slid in and slid out. So that's that scene. If we go to the second scene, you'll see we have an explosion of purple smoke, powder, I'm not sure which it is, but we'll have a look in a moment. And we also have special guests, Abby Sandy. I've called him Customer Happiness because I'm not totally sure what his real title is, but that's very much what he tries to achieve. And Sankit Shah, and he's the boss. He is the head of InVideo. And down here we've got 50 episodes and special guests, voiceovers. Now, what I will do, come back and show you how I created the purple in there, but it's actually from an effects, and you can see it there. It's a powder explosion, and if we press the little arrow, we'll see that there's quite a lot of powder explosions, but I quite liked the purple one. Okay, so that is scene 2. If we go to scene 3, and you will see, now this is halfway through, so you see what happens halfway through. You can see it does London, New York, and then does Los Angeles. And as you move across, you've got 3 pictures. They're simply on top of each other, and they're added, not replaced. And I'll play the scene, and you'll see that these build up.
It's Thursday at 4 in the afternoon in the UK, 11 in the morning Eastern Time, and 8 in the morning Pacific Time.
So you saw there. As I said, at the end of this, I'll come and show you how to add the powder explosion, and I'll come and show you how to do one of these. So our final scene, and let's slide along to our final scene. There's my slider. That's the longest scene of all, and we have join us, watch, learn and have fun. And we have a wave, a voiceover that does that, and you saw me putting voiceovers on earlier. And then we have my tension builder at the end. So if I play the scene, there are no clever tricks here other than one little piece, which if we go to the end, slides on. I'm a great believer that too much fancy stuff actually stops people from watching your video. So we'll play it for you.
Join us, watch, learn and have fun.
And then you get my little be there or be square. You can't hear the murmur light because that's one of those objects that when you play doesn't hear. But what I will be doing shortly is playing the whole video through, and you'll be able to hear all of the sounds. Okay, I said I would show you how to add the powder explosion and how to create the map pin and the name. You'll notice when you see the 3 map pins that I've actually left justified them because I think they look better than they do with 3 of them in a row and centered text. So I'm starting with a standard scene, except I've done 2 modifications to it. I've changed the text to the colour of the darker blue on the fish. I just want to make things feel interlinked, if you like. And I've got rid of the logo, but I'm going to answer probably one of the most asked questions in the group. It is, how do you change the background colour? And it's really dead simple, but you need to unlock the background first. So if you unlock, go to edit, hit colours, select your colour. I'm going for the lovely preset white. I'm going to go back to layers, and I'm going to relock the background so that no accidents can happen with the background colour. So that is how it's done. And what I'm going to do now is show you how you add the powder effect. So I'm going to go over to effects and just run through. You've got confettis, fireworks, grunges, hearts, light leaks, powder explosions, smoke and snow. And we're going to do there is, I really like this one, so I'm going to add that. And that is as simple as it is. The only thing you really need to remember is to go to layers, yeah, and put your text over the top by dragging it to the front. Now here I went to a default blue so that when we went white you could see it, but now I've got my effect. I'm going to go to there and I'm going to go to edit, I'm going to go to colors, and I'm actually going to change the text back to white so it stands out. And then I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to go to drop shadow and I'm going to hit drop shadow. I could choose the color, but I'm very happy with the black, and you'll notice if you turn the drop shadow on and off, it just helps your text pop off the screen. Okay, I've just quickly deleted the things that we put on before to leave me a scene with just a white background and nothing else on it, so you can see we've got a white background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add that map pointer name. Now I called them stickers in the last little section of video, but it's not really a sticker, it's in fact a text effect. So if we click to text, we can go there and you can see you've got headings, subheadings and body text. You've got text styles. I'll just quickly show you those. Loads of them. We've got classics, moderns, Astons. Now they're called lower thirds by most people, but the name Astons came about because they were invented by Aston TV, and Aston TV were based in Birmingham, where I live. Then we've got social media credits. There's loads of those, you know, whatever social media thing you want, there's loads and loads of them there. And we're just going to pop back from there, and then there's location boxes, and then there's some free sort of bubbles, and underneath the bubbles there's some other quite nice effects like spinning, etc. But we want location boxes, and if we click on location boxes we'll see that there are in fact 10 different designs. I'm simply going to go with this one. You see, you can get an idea of the effect. Add it. Just for the purposes of this, I'm only going to do the one. I'm going to stick it in the middle of the screen, and I'm going to edit the name, and let's call this London. Click on there, and there. It's as easy and as simple as that to create that edited there. I did a row of 3, and when you pull them one at each other to left, you will get a lineup bar to show you where they're going. For those who haven't noticed it, you can find the center of anything here simply by dragging to there and getting the 2 thick lines. I call them thick lines because the other lines are thinner and dotted. And if we play now, you'll see that that's automated, and that is how you do the map points.
The Inspired by NVIDIA Show.
50 episodes, that's incredible.
Special guest Sabila Shand and Sanke Shah.
It's Thursday at 4 in the afternoon in the UK, 11 in the morning Eastern Time, and 8 in the morning Pacific Time.
Join us, watch, learn, and have fun.
Okay folks, that's it. We hope you enjoyed our 50th anniversary episode, and we'll see you next week.